girl is raped, the entire media and the nation come together immediately, demanding that the guilty party be hanged or punished, saying they don't deserve to live, and rightly so. Such actions must be addressed with strict justice. But what about the boys who are raped by women? These women often face no punishment, and society's pressure makes it almost impossible for the boys to speak out. Even if they gather the courage to tell someone, society usually doesn't believe them. And if it does, the reaction is often dismissive. You must have enjoyed it. It's no big deal. But what about the boy who has been violated? How does he cope with such a traumatic experience? How will he face his future, his wife, or himself? Many such untold stories go unheard because society silences them. Today's story is about one such boy from Delhi. After hearing it, your blood may boil with rage over the lack of laws to protect boys from sexual abuse and hold the guilty accountable. Hello, friends. My name is Alex, and you are watching True Crime. This story begins on August 17th, 2023, with a boy named Sorav, an ordinary delivery worker. What happened to him next will leave you shaken. Let me tell you, Sorav was a delivery boy who had already lost his father. He was the sole breadwinner for his family, carrying the weight of their survival on his young shoulders. Sorav was a young man juggling multiple responsibilities. His younger sister was pursuing her education, and with his mother managing the household, he was the sole breadwinner for the family. Alongside attending college during the day, Sorav worked tirelessly as a food delivery boy from 5 p.m. to midnight in Delhi. Every day, he followed the same exhausting routine. On one such day, after returning home from college, Sorav left at 5 p.m. for his delivery shifts. At one of the usual meeting spots for delivery drivers, he ran into some of his colleagues, who mentioned that it wasn't a good day for orders. Business was slow. This weighed heavily on Sorav, as he was already struggling to cover his college fees and support his family. These thoughts often consumed him, pushing him into a state of depression. The burden of being the only one responsible for his household after his father's passing left him with little room to breathe. Despite his struggles, Sorav began his shift. That night, orders were scarce, and by midnight, he hadn't earned much. Feeling dejected, he was about to call it a day when his phone rang. It was a new order placed by a customer named Isha. Without hesitation, Sorav started his bike and headed to the restaurant to pick up the order. When he saw the details, he was surprised. It was a single small burger, ordered at midnight, to be delivered to an address nearly 10 kilometers away. For those familiar with Delhi in India, such distances late at night can feel daunting. Nevertheless, Sorav grabbed the order and made his way to the location. When he arrived, as the delivery app indicated, he stood in front of a massive house. The delivery notification alerted the customer, and shortly after, a young woman stepped out to collect the food. She took the burger from him, and then she told him, "Wait here, I'll bring the cash." Then she added, "If you want, you can come inside." The boy politely declined, saying, "I'm fine here." However, she insisted, "No, come in. It's no problem." Feeling hesitant, but seeing the darkness outside, he thought it would be better to wait inside, take the cash, and leave. As he stepped in, he noticed loud music blaring from speakers and saw a party in full swing. Several girls were dancing and drinking, but there wasn't a single boy around. However, his mind wasn't on the party. It was preoccupied with his responsibilities, his studies, his early college schedule, and his family. The girl who had gone to get the cash returned, but her demeanor had completely changed. She'd been drinking, and her body language made him uncomfortable. The other girls were still dancing and drinking, Earlier, she had spoken respectfully to him, but now her tone and gaze were unsettling. She looked him up and down and said, "I'll give you your payment, and more, if you join us for the party." Now, if he had been like some other boys, he might have thought, "Girls, a party, and I'm the only guy here. Why not?" But he firmly replied, "No, I have to get home. I have college in the morning. Please give me my payment so I can leave." At first, she tried to convince him sweetly again, but when he refused, she snapped, shouting, "Don't you understand what I'm saying? Do you even know who I am? I'll call the police right now and have you arrested if you don't listen to me." He was taken aback. She threatened him further, saying, "I'll accuse you of harassment, even rape, if you don't comply." Fear began to creep in. What if she actually followed through? What would happen to him and his family? Under pressure, he reluctantly said, "Okay, I'll do as you say." She handed him a drink and insisted he take it. When he refused, another girl chimed in, "Just drink it." When he still resisted, the first girl shouted at him, grabbed a glass, and forced it to his lips. Feeling trapped, he drank it. Then they coerced him further, telling him to go to the bedroom, saying they would join him there and have some fun. His mind raced. His delivery app had his details, and if he tried to escape, they could track him or accuse him of something terrible. Paralyzed by fear, he complied and went to the bedroom. What happened next was something no human should ever have to endure. Whether it's a girl or a boy, young or old, such an incident should never happen to anyone. These experiences leave deep scars that can haunt someone for their entire life. Tragically, in this story, the boy experienced something unimaginable. The same girl, Isha, entered the room where he was, and what followed was horrifying. She, along with 4 other girls, assaulted him. Yes, 5 girls forced themselves on him. To some, this might seem trivial or even laughable. After all, he's a man, right? But if you consider it from a mental or physical perspective, it's clear that such an act is utterly unacceptable, regardless of gender. Excess of anything can be dangerous, even life-threatening, and this applies here too. What he endured over the span of 2 to 3 hours was beyond anything he could have imagined in his worst nightmares. The girls, intoxicated and out of control, acted in ways that should never happen to anyone. By the time it was over, it was around 4 o'clock in the morning. The girls, once sober, dismissed him, saying, "Leave now, go." Shaken to his core, he left the house, tears streaming down his face. As he rode his bike home, with his delivery bag on his back, the rain poured down, masking his tears. The thoughts racing through his mind were unbearable. What would people say if they found out? How would he ever get married? How could he face society? When he finally reached home, his mother asked, "Where were you all night? Were you working or staying at a friend's house?" He lied, saying he was at a friend's place. That was the end of the conversation, but the trauma remained. He was too scared to tell anyone, fearing ridicule and shame. Almost a year later, he confided in a close friend from school, someone he trusted deeply. That friend, who was a journalist, wrote an article about the incident and published it on a website. This is where I read about it, and I'm sharing his story with you now. The boy chose not to reveal his name, the names of his family members, or even the identities of the girls involved. But this raises an important question. Doesn't he deserve justice too? What's your opinion? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to hear more such stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.